Good morning, welcome to CATEX TV. My name is Frank Fortunato. Today is Thursday, July 5th, 2012. The final report on the Air France Flight 447 crash that went down in the South Atlantic 2 years ago is coming out in Paris today. Family members of the victims were briefed about it earlier today, and what they're saying is that the flight director system on the plane, the automated system, indicated erroneous information that the plane was diving downward, and therefore to compensate, the pilot pulled up on the throttle. Investigators had known that the pilot nosed up during the stall instead of down, which would have been the normal maneuver for stall recovery. The comments of the victims' relatives are the first indication of why the pilot did that. So it looks as if it could come down to being a determination that the pilot was perhaps less guilty than had been thought because he was relying on the instruments. We'll have to wait and see what it says in full. The Costa Concordia cruise ship, which sank off of Rome, killing 32 people, had problems before it went down, or it capsized. 4 days before the ship capsized, emails from the liner's technical director revealed that the ship had a faulty black box data recorder. According to one email written by Pier Francisco Ferro, the technical director for the ship, the situation is becoming unbearable. He said that the black box had broken down for the upteenth time. The black box was scheduled to be fixed on January 14th, several days after the ship capsized. The recorder was never repaired or replaced, even though Carnival Cruise Lines, actually the subsidiary Costa Cruise Lines, insisted to Italian authorities that the recorder had been working when the ships hit the rocks. The documents also indicated that the ship's watertight safety doors, which were designed to prevent flooding, had been left open, apparently for crew convenience. Some economic news: the European Central Bank has cut its key interest rate by a quarter percentage point down to a record low of 0.75%. This follows a rate cut by China's central bank. It's the second in a month. Meanwhile, in the United States, new claims for unemployment benefits dropped unexpectedly during the last week. Apparently, they dropped 14,000 to a seasonally adjusted 374,000. People had been expecting 385,000. The Japanese government has come out with a report on the nuclear accident of Fukushima after the 9.0 earthquake. They said that the disaster was not only due to the earthquake, but it was also man-made. According to the report, governments, regulatory authorities, and the Tokyo Electric Power Company lacked a sense of responsibility to protect people's lives and society. They effectively betrayed the nation's right to be safe from nuclear accidents. Therefore, we conclude that the accident was clearly man-made. The government and TEPCO have been unwilling to say that the reactors could have been damaged by the initial earthquake. However, the report says that the plant itself was in a vulnerable condition with no guarantee that it could withstand earthquakes and tsunamis. I'll tell you what, if you had looked at a map, you would have come to that same conclusion. It was built right on the shoreline and had a 6-foot seawall in front of it. It was hit by a 50-foot wave. Insurers led by State Farm have reported a combined total of more than 48,000 claims from those weekend storms that went through the mid-Atlantic states that still have about 800,000 people without power. State Farm says it's taken in about 30,000 auto and property claims in the Midwest and Mid-Atlantic states, and they expect much more. Nationwide said they've received 9,000 claims so far. United Services Automobile Association has received about 8,900 claims. Farmers has taken in about 800 claims as of yesterday. Allstate, Liberty Mutual, Hartford, and Chubb and Erie have declined to provide any numbers yet. There was an explosion in Seville, Spain today at the port. An explosion on a plastic recycling ship caused a fire in a huge column of black smoke in the port area. Nobody was injured. The fire was put out after firemen were assured that it was safe. At least 17 people in Kabul were killed in a huge fire this morning following a propane gas reservoir blast in an eastern suburb of the capital. The blast occurred about 4 p.m. local time yesterday. It damaged several other industrial buildings as well as residential houses. Apparently it was not due to terrorist activity. It was caused by an electrical short circuit. Well, if you're in London, the European Union's new tallest building has opened. The so-called cheese grater, or shard, is 87 stories tall. It's built atop a train station. Developers will have to fill yet 26 floors of vacant space. It's a pretty bad rental market in London right now. Apparently rates are at the flattest in the last 50 years. The building was built with funding by the royal family of Qatar rather than a publicly listed company. And it's a very tall building indeed. If you're in the financial district of London, you can't miss it. This is the final broadcast for 2 weeks. We're not going to come back on the air again until Thursday, July 19th, because of vacations as well as equipment revisions. So if you have any questions, please contact us at www.catex.com. If we have any breaking news, we'll come back and tell you. Thank you for watching, and we will see you in 2 weeks.